Yes, well, my daughter is sick home, Julia, so she's in her room. She didn't get much sleep last night. Natalie's at school, so I think I can make this video. Uh, 1975, I was a freshman in high school, and it was the first day of class. And it was a big day. You know, when you're 14 years old, the clothes you wear are huge. They really mean a lot to you when you're 14 years old. You know, you want to make a good impression on the other kids. Peer pressure, conformity, popularity. And my mother would not buy me the number one brand of popular shoes. They were called Wallabies. I believe that's a creature from Australia, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Australia has a lot of weird creatures. So the Wallaby was the most popular shoe. My mom would not buy the Wallaby, but there was a generic imitation of the Wallaby, Desert Boot, that we got at Daughtry's that was probably half the price of the Wallaby. The Wallaby might have been like 40 bucks, which spending $40 on a shoe for your 14-year-old son in 1975 was somewhat of a scandal. So my shoe was not a Wallaby, but I was proud of it. It was a Desert Boot, which was the popular style. And I remember a bunch of us were standing outside of the cafeteria during lunch, showing our new shoes to everyone. Look at me, man! I got Desert Boots, I said. And this guy, you know, Kenny Wilkington, goes, "Those are cheap, dude. I got Wallabies. And notice the superiority of the craftsmanship." And he pulls the elastic shoelaces on his superior Wallabies to show that they stretch and they don't tear, they don't snap. And then he snaps my cheap shoelaces. And he goes, "See, yours are cheap." And I'm like, "Dude, you just broke my shoelaces." And, you know, he taught me a lesson on the notion that there's always something better, that what you have can be rendered, you know, inferior by something else, which is really what I want to talk about today. The notion that there's always something better. You know, I live in Los Angeles. It's supposed to be a very glamorous place. It's supposed to be where everyone's beautiful. But what I hear is that Miami, apparently, and I haven't been to Miami in over 20 years, but apparently Miami has the most beautiful people in the world, far more beautiful than the people in Los Angeles. This is just what I hear. A second related thing that I hear is that Miami is a place where you go to go crazy. And it has something to do with there's just too much beauty. And I thought about this because, you know, back in the late 1990s, before my brother got married, and I have to say that because my brother is married and I don't want to get him in trouble, but anyways, before he was married, on a business trip in Miami, I remember a story he told me. He was doing business, and at night he went to this club in Miami, and as he was driving, he could see on the patio, on the veranda, he could see all these beautiful women, and he goes, "Wow, this is like the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life." So he stops his car, he's out on the patio, on the terraces, the balconies, just the most beautiful women. And then this bouncer whispers in my brother's ear, "Hey, shh, shh, inside there's this VIP room, just give me 20 bucks. The women are even more beautiful." And my brother was going, "Okay, all right, here's 20 bucks. So he goes into the VIP room, and he couldn't believe it. The women were even more beautiful. And about 20 minutes later, another bouncer goes, "Psst, psst, hey, there's this room behind this wall, man. The women are even more beautiful, 50 bucks. So my brother gives the guy 50 bucks, and he's in this chamber inside the VIP room where the women are even more beautiful. So like 20 minutes later, another bouncer whispers in my brother's ear, "Psst, hey, I got this place, man." So my brother gives the guy 100 bucks and goes down the spiral staircase where the women were even more beautiful. And like he was just, his adrenaline was just exploding. And then another bouncer whispers there, "Nah, 100 bucks. He takes him into this tunnel that gives you the submarine to Cuba where the women were, no, obviously I exaggerate, but the point is this. As my brother was explaining the increasing gradations of intensity of beauty, he was becoming more anxious, more miserable. And isn't that what desire is all about? Isn't it about misery? And I think we want to be miserable. I think we want to feel something. You know, this ability to see more and more beautiful images. Can you imagine a teenage boy growing up in the age of the internet? He can look at thousands of images of beautiful women on his computer. What does that do to his brain? Well, we kind of know. We kind of know what it does to the brain. The dopamine receptors get short-circuited. I mean, there's a lot of studies on this. There's the Great Porn Experiment. Gary Wilson, a neurobiologist, has shown that the dopamine receptors get fried. They're done. You're ruined. And you can't feel anything. So you can't feel anything at all. And as a result, you're desperate to feel something. So I think desire is a masochistic enterprise. It's about becoming miserable, knowing that you just can't reach these inflated expectations, which get worse and worse. And I think that applies to watch obsessives. I mean, I'm a watch obsessive. You're always at this point where you got to desire something more, or you're not happy. And I think the masochistic exercise of the whole thing has a lot to do with wanting to feel. And in an age where, we're not going to go off the grid, we're not going to go off the internet. It's here. I mean, obviously, it'd be nice to have some boundaries, have some hour limitations. God knows I have hour limitations for my daughters. But it's here, and I think our ability to feel has been compromised. And I think even experiencing that kind of that misery of thinking there's always this chamber that takes you underground, a Cuba, where the people are even more beautiful. I think that misery is a feeling. And in this age of the internet, feeling is gold. You'll take feeling just about any way you can get it. Probably a pretty dangerous proposition. Probably a dangerous situation. But it's something that we need to look at as we propel ourselves further and further into this internet age. Anyways, I hear my daughter prancing about, and I think I'm going to cut this talk short. I'm going to go see what she's up to. Until then, I'll see you back later.